What's going on? Welcome to the Pro Day Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Jackson, and today we have an awesome one. We're actually interviewing someone today, so it's not just me. I will be interviewing Macy Blackburn. She is nominated for the Tulsa All-World Player of the Year. She's also known as the Hammer to those that are a little bit in her closer circle. She's played literally every position on the volleyball court, and she'll be attending the University of Central Arkansas. All around, Macy's just an all-around awesome person and killer athlete. So what's up, Macy?
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yes.
Don't be. We'll get through it nice and easy. So let's jump into some of it, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so you graduated from what high school? Tell me a little bit about yourself, I guess. What high school do you go to? I know I already said you're going to Central Arkansas, but elaborate a little bit for me.
So I went to Broken Arrow High School, kind of still in that stage of being a senior, and I'm going to graduate hopefully in the date of June. That's what they have set right now because of all of the stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
it's weird with all COVID stuff.
Oh yeah.
How's
definitely.
senior year been? How's the end of it been with all this stuff going on?
Online classes are interesting, especially I do concurrent. That means so I take a class at a local college.
Yeah.
And it also counts as college credit and
Nice.
high school credit, so I get both at the same time. So right now I'm doing that online, which is way different with lectures
Yeah.
and tests. So
Have you been doing Zoom meetings?
I have been doing some Zoom meetings with my club teams and with my future
Nice. Have you had any
college team.
classes, any school on Zoom, or no?
No, I have not had any
That's
school
lucky.
Zoom.
I can't imagine
so-
doing Zoom meetings at school.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So when are you going to school? And I mean, I guess tell them the school you're going to, why you chose that school, I guess. Because, I mean, you're a really good volleyball player, so you had options. So give us a little insight.
I chose UCA because they had
You're good. Don't worry about it.
I chose UCA because they have a lot of opportunity for me. The coaches were really invested in coming and watching me play more than the other coaches
Yeah.
were, and that stuck out to me a lot. They always invited me to come to their campus, watch games, stay with the girls, just
Yeah.
to see what life would be like, and that was something I didn't get to experience with the other colleges, so
So they're just really involved with you.
yes.
That's cool. I didn't know all that. So that's like what did it for you. You had a bunch of other options, but they were the ones that at least made you eager enough to be interested, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Very cool. So crazy good volleyball player, high school, gonna go play in college, gonna be awesome in college. So take me a little bit. The goal of this whole podcast, I guess, is going to be a few fronts. Get to know you a little bit, and then on top of that, give people kind of insight. So like, let's say I'm an 8th grade volleyball player and I'm looking for a future. Like, when did volleyball start to become a thing where you're like, I think I could play this at the next level? Do you remember like when you kind of flipped that switch to like, oh, okay, this is something that I could do?
Well, I mean, throughout my high school career and even in middle school, my coaches, they always, I played up a lot.
Yeah.
So I guess I had kind of like a standard put on me, like, oh yeah, she'll go play college, she plays up, she's really good. And so I don't really have a time where it clicked, like, I want to play college.
You just kind of embodied that standard.
Yeah,
that
I
everybody
just
was.
took it in as, yes, that's a part of me.
Yeah.
And I will, just because I had the talent and I'm going to use it.
Yeah. So you were always gifted, so coaches just kind of instilled in you that idea that you are going to take it to the next level. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. When did you ever have to flip a switch where, because it's different for everyone. I mean, for myself, I had to flip a switch and be like, all right, it's time to actually put the work in that it's going to take to play in college. Obviously, there's people that are very athletically gifted, you being one of those. Was there a time where you were like, I got to go put in the extra time, the extra effort? A lot of people think that, and in my last podcast I talked about this, or I guess maybe 2 ago, but it ends at practice. And so they practice and they're done. But for the people that really excel in their sport, typically it takes work outside of just what school practice or club practice you have.
A lot of it I had to work on was mental stuff,
Yeah.
just because volleyball is a very mental sport.
Yeah.
And I know, like, during my junior year for sure, I had this pressure that I had to be good and I had to be a leader on the
Yeah.
court, like with points and everything. So it was hard mentally trying to get out of your head, like focus on the next ball. So I did a lot of that, and I focused on that outside of practice as well. But I've always been a player that was driven and worked hard every time they got. So I always worked hard at practice, and I did all the workouts that I was supposed to do outside as well.
Yeah, so you just put in all the work necessary to get there,
Yep.
which is awesome. That's exciting. So what are your feelings now about transitioning to college? Like the high school's weird because you get into it like your freshman year, you're nervous, you have to like figure all this stuff out. You're about to enter freshman year all over again. It's going to be the same
Yeah.
thing. What are your feelings at that?
I'm excited, but it is kind of intimidating because you have your mindset and you're like, oh, college is going to be so hard, like college volleyball, like everyone's good there, you know. In high school, it's like just high school volleyball. But I remember having that same thought process whenever I was a freshman playing on varsity. I was like, oh my gosh, this is varsity, like everyone's so good. So I feel like looking at the past and how I got through that, I feel like if I just take it one day at a time, it'll become normal and just...
For sure. Yeah. No,
yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, that's how like everybody goes through all of that. You go from being the best to low man on the totem pole, and you don't know if you're going to be the best anymore. So, like, with that, would you say it's more like nerves involved with it, or just like anxious to get it going, get it started, or all of the above?
Kind of all of the above.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a weird time right now with not being able to, I can touch a ball and do it at home.
Yeah, like you can do it on your own, like at your house and stuff, but
yes.
Can you not, like...
But going to a gym and being with a team and getting a coach's perspective, all of that, I would have liked to have more of.
Yeah.
With all this time off, it's hard to get outside and doing it.
So is that like a COVID thing, or is that a like NCAA type thing where you can't...
Well, it's based off of COVID.
Yeah.
And a lot of rules had to be put in that we couldn't
so
be
they've
around.
put rules in play.
Yes.
Whoa, okay, I didn't know all that. Like, I hadn't been... So there's rules that don't allow you to go, like, train with, like, a private trainer or coach or something volleyball related?
We're not allowed to be in gyms with anyone. It's supposed to open up in May sometime, but there's a lot of restrictions.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that we get to at least get in the gym and get touches on the ball with some other players that are going to play college. So, I mean, that's something going into the college experience that everyone's going through. So everyone right now, we're not able to get in the gym and get the reps we want. So I guess that's comforting that it's not only me.
Yeah, but it's still difficult that, like, I mean, this is your, like, big moment per se. You're going into college and it's like, sorry, you can't touch a ball. That's crazy. So do they do that to level the playing field so the kid with the private gym in their house can't train, or do you know? Like,
well, right now it's only off of Corona. So if I had a gym at my house and it was only me, then I could do as much as I wanted. Like, we're going to buy a volleyball net and set it up in our backyard, and I'm going to go outside and hit the volleyball with my sister. So it's just, right now it's kind of a you work on yourself kind of thing, but it's hard to know, is this actually helping me and all of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know all that. I wonder how many sports that is in play for, which is insane. So do you know if that's like a college thing or if that's like an all volleyball, like the U.S. volleyball, whatever, is saying that?
Right now, I'm pretty sure all sports are kind of on hold. I know that our high school, a lot of our seniors didn't get to play their senior season.
That's crazy,
and
too.
They haven't been able to go to a lot of the parks, and things are closed down too. So soccer, they can't go out and play, pass the ball with others.
Yeah.
And tennis has been kind of open because they're far away from each other. So I know that some courts have been open for them, but it's just weird when they can't play the sport they love.
Yeah.
During high school. So.
Yeah, especially when it's like, because I can't imagine we have a bunch of soccer players that train here that were seniors, and it's like, it's crazy. I don't know how you would be able to deal with not being able to play, like, no senior night, no any run for a championship of any kind. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Cool. Okay, so moving into a little bit of different stuff now. Let's go, like, with your perspective, helping out other people. So let's say that a lot of 8th grade girls are listening to this, even freshmen, any age, or guys that are wanting experience and what to think when they're moving up in grades and in level. So what would you give advice-wise to somebody that's like a freshman in high school or an 8th grader about to be in their freshman year? What do you wish somebody would have told you? I mean, I know you talked about the mental stuff, but like, what do you wish you would have been told?
I mean, this is something that I had been told many times, that it's going to fly by really fast, and I didn't know how fast it would have gone, especially with it being cut short. But just, I don't know, don't take advantage of like what you have. Be thankful for every day, even if it's boring right now while we're in quarantine, but just be thankful for every day, especially whenever school opens back up, going to see your teachers, see your friends, because one day maybe you're not able to see them, and it changes everything.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from somebody who, like, I'm 24 now, so I've been out of any organized school for 2 years now, and that side of, like, it's weird because you don't have the friends you go see every day and stuff. I feel like that's a big part that's looked over along those lines, and even when it comes to, like, basketball practice, like, I mean, to think back and be like, dang, like, I don't get to go practice with my team anymore. Even though you think it sucks at the time, it's actually more enjoyable than you, I guess, realize, which is interesting.
While you're in it and you're doing all the things, you don't realize how much you'll miss it whenever you're out of it.
Yeah, so for sure. So that's looking into the past. Have you been told anything about what to expect going into college now? Has anybody given you advice on that end?
I mean, I haven't really, like, asked for advice on what college is like. My sister's in college, so I've just seen her. She studies hard, and I know that when I go in, I've been told that you are an athlete in college, and it will be harder. So, yes, they say that if you do college athletics, that your sport is your job. Yeah. But I don't want to think of my sport as my job, but I'm there doing what I love and also getting an education at the same time. So I think that's what I want to focus on. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's very cool. It's exciting stuff. It'll be interesting to see. I'm pumped to see your college career. Getting into, I guess, a little bit like of a deeper thing maybe, what are your goals? Like, when you look to the future, and like, I mean, I know this even if you won't say it, like, you think it'd be awesome to play like on the U.S. volleyball team.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So I don't think that's intangible for you. I think that there's chances for everything. So is there anything else? Like, I mean, that's obviously huge. Is there any other goals that you have going forward, or not really?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of, if you'd say, go with the flow. Yeah. But, I mean, I'll go wherever the Lord leads me. So I'm kind of going on that path. So let's say if the Lord wants me to, like, if I get the opportunity to play pro volleyball, I mean, that'd be awesome. And if things line up to where it seems like I should be going that way, then that's how it'll go. But, I mean, I always have thought of myself as, like, I want to get a home and raise a family. Yeah. So it just depends on, like, where my life is at that point. For sure. But right now, obviously, I'd say it'd be so cool if I could play pro and go to the Olympics. Yeah, so definitely. I mean, that's cool. And yeah, day by day, like, I understand that for sure, but it'll be fun to see. So I'm trying to think of any other questions I had. Do you have any other thoughts of anything, or anything that you want to bounce around, anything like that? Actually, so while you're in your sport, there are times that it gets really hard, or you're hurting because of the punishments or whatever you're going through, but you just have to keep the mindset of, this is now, you won't always be in this hard time, because of course there are times in volleyball when I was so tired, worn out, but then the next day you look back and you're like, that wasn't even that bad. Why was I thinking that? So don't overthink, like, the future things you're going to have to go through, or like tests of strength of anything that you'll have to do, because that's just a moment of your life, and then you'll look back and just realize how small it was compared to the big picture. Yeah, I mean, perception's key. At the end of it all, there's a finish line, and that finish line changes for everybody, and you won't know the finish line probably till you get there. Yeah. But when you start looking at these super successful athletes, LeBron, Messi, yourself, like, I mean, the stuff you do, like, they still haven't reached the finish line. They still put in the work, and I think a lot of people think that, like,
I mean, I know people think this. They think stuff gets handed to you. They think that LeBron he was born a different human than everybody else. But at the end of the day, it has a lot more to do with what has LeBron done to get himself there. Because if LeBron didn't put forth any effort, he wouldn't be where he's at. And same with you. If you didn't put forth the effort, if you didn't push through the times that sucked, you wouldn't be here. And I think that's a huge misconception that people, they see the super athletic people and they don't necessarily see what they do or have done. And a lot of times, like when you get to the point in LeBron's career, you don't have to do the things that somebody that's just got drafted has to do. You have to do a lot more. So figuring out that balance and figuring out, I mean, tying back to like your goals, like what do you want? And it changes for everybody. Some people enjoy sports as a hobby. Some people want sports to be their life. And if you want it to be your life, then that's where the kind of the job aspect comes into play. But everything's going to be work. Even when you get the job that you love, there's still work involved. Even if you love, like these NBA, NFL guys that look like, oh, they're at the top of everything, I wish I was them. They still work because they're doing some stuff that they don't really enjoy. Like anybody running sprints or doing anything crazy doesn't enjoy that, but it's what the outcome is. So, I mean, that's awesome that you're on the path of just seeing where everything takes you, but also sitting back and moving to like, I want to go all out in my athletic career and see where everything takes me.
Along with the hard work and everything, it is easy to sit here and see where someone is now and say, yeah, they got handed everything, but you don't see all the behind the scenes stuff. Because I know when I was in 8th grade, my mom was one of the coaches, and I always had to tell myself I need to work harder than them. I don't want them to think that I'm in this position because of my mother, because she never got involved in anything of, like, if I got pulled up, she never had a say in it, and she never wanted anyone to think that. And so I always worked harder just so that people wouldn't say, oh, your mom's a coach and all of that. So it's easy for someone to say now that, oh, you got handed scholarships and everything, but it was a lot of hard work coming up to this. So
Nobody's handed anything. I mean, I don't know if you've heard this, but like, it like takes 10 years to get an overnight success. Like people see these people and they're like, oh, this person just got, and no, they've been putting in stuff for a long time. And I mean, I can be the first to attest for you. I see the stuff that you do outside of there. I see your mindset and how hard you are at yourself. Like back when we were playing pickup volleyball, like it ate away at you if you messed up, even when it was just fun. Like it was, in my head, it's like, oh, this is just pointless. But for you, it's like, no, there is a point behind it, which is that mindset that it takes to be successful.
And then you got a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I did make a hole in the wall. It's still in the wall, but I did block you too. So I just want you to remember that.
Yeah.
So when you're playing on the U.S. volleyball team, just picture my face with my arms out blocking your hit. And then just remember the feelings that went along with
the anger.
No, that's awesome though. I am very thankful that you were wanting to sit down and do this podcast, and I hope that that gives insight to other people into a bunch of different things. I think that it's going to be important for people to see, because I know dealing with a lot of younger kids that go to the same school you go to, like 8th graders and stuff, they look to you as like LeBron.
Which is crazy.
It is. I mean, it's crazy, but it's awesome. And it's you have this influence, you have this say in what people do. And so the fact that you can sit here and say like, this isn't just something that like, oh, you're lucky to be tall and something happens so you can hit. It's like, no, like, sure, you're lucky to be tall, but at the same time, you've put in all the work that it takes to be there. Just because you get one thing doesn't mean the rest comes. So for everybody out there that's thinking like, oh, I can't do it, there's no opportunity, you can, 100%. Anybody can literally do
if
whatever
you put your mind
it is.
to it, you can do whatever you set your mind on.
Exactly. So. And there's obvious limitations, but for everyone, like, you can do what you set yourself to, which is cool. So I'm glad that you can come on and tell them that like the process kind of you go through. Like people kind of see these other people and don't think of them as human, but like you get nervous, you do all the things that everybody else does. Like right now, you're nervous because you're on a podcast. No, that's awesome. That's very cool. Thank you so much for doing this. If you all have any questions, comments, any topics you want us to cover in the future, shoot them our way. Message us, email us, whatever, and then like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. Thank you, Macy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course. We'll see you all next time. See ya.